Welcome to Higher Learning. I am your host, Oz Rashid. This is more than just a podcast. It's a front row seat to how elite leaders build the most iconic of teams. The kind of leaders who spot potential that others overlook, who build cultures people don't want to leave, who set the bar, then raise it. Work and how we work is evolving at a rapid pace like no time in history. Our guests will give you insights on how to stay out in front when it comes to all things talent, leadership, management, artificial intelligence, and developing the skills that actually matter. Whether you're a founder, hiring manager, or just obsessed with building teams the right way, this is your spot. If it's your first time here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, drop a rating, tell a friend who gets it. To our longtime listeners, we appreciate you. Thanks for the continued support. Now, let's get into it. Hello, listeners. Let me ask you a question. What if the culture of your company isn't something you build on purpose? What if it's already there, already baked in, and a direct reflection of who you are, your strengths, your blind spots, and the things you haven't dealt with yet? Today's guest figured that out early, and it changed everything about how she builds. Anna Belova is a serial entrepreneur and the founder and CEO of OpenWay AI, a company building AI autonomous agents that manage the full customer lifecycle. Think of it as giving your business a team member who never sleeps, never forgets, and never loses a lead. And before OpenWay, she built DEVAR, one of the most ambitious consumer augmented reality companies in the world. 15 million books sold across 75 countries, 27 languages, no-code AR platform used by 250,000 creators and 200 universities in 180 countries. My goodness. Partnerships with Google, Hasbro, McDonald's, and Nasdaq. Maybe you've heard of those companies. And she built an entirely new product category. Forbes recognized her as a 30 under 30 honoree. Silicon Valley knows her name. And today she's sitting with me on Higher Learning. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. What makes a founder different from everyone else in the room? We're going to talk about culture and why it starts with whether you want it to or not. We're going to talk about painful truth behind hiring big brand executives into startups. And we're going to talk about what it feels like to actually have the world tell you that you've earned it. You don't want to skip this one. Anna, how you doing? Welcome to Higher Learning.
Hi. So happy to be here.
I know you do a lot of podcasts, but has anybody touched that introduction? That was pretty good, huh?
No, this is one of the best, and now it's one of my favorites. So
I can't wait. We're going to cut it. We're going to clip it. We're going to share it. And listen, You've earned it.
Yeah.
You've done some amazing things. I am so excited to talk to you today.
Oh, thank you.
So let's talk about it. We talked a lot about how you're a builder, building technology, building companies, building culture. But let's start with the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey. Was this something that was in you as a young child? Did you have your own lemonade stand, or was it something that you realized was a great fit for you later on in your life?
It's a great question. I can say from my childhood, I remember that with my grandma, we've had a chance to sell something from our garden. Maybe it was the first step to be a perfect in sales and business development, because you need to smile, you need to explain when you are bad, etc. But I think, and I still think, that entrepreneurship, it's not about what you do, what you think, and what you wanted to build. It's about your mindset, how you feel the world around you, how do you think, and what kind of question you ask yourself every morning. And I think from my childhood, anytime trying to find a way how to make me self-made something. I didn't know. I didn't have a chance to say, I wanted to be entrepreneur, right? No, but I always wanted to be someone.
Entrepreneurship chose you. You didn't choose entrepreneurship. So if I heard that correct, you were going and getting things from the garden and selling them.
Yeah.
Did you have an ICP? How fast did you have product market fit? Was it pretty quickly? Like people are making salads and different things like that? What were you selling? What was the vegetable?
I tell you more.
I
remember it was cucumbers.
Big market, huge TAM.
Huge fun, yeah. But I tell you what, we've had the competitors on the street
Okay.
my job was to attract more new customers
Okay.
to our customers. And I was, let me guess, like maybe 5 or 6 years old.
Wow.
And it was so fun because, of course, I have a benefit and advantage because I was a cute child and I can smile and be so loud to say, like, this is the best cucumber that you could find in your life. Something like that.
Whoa. You're a ruthless competitor, even at that age. That's amazing. They say entrepreneurs are born. That is almost definitely the case of you. I love to hear that. So let's talk a little bit about the current company. So you are a serial entrepreneur. We talked a little bit about your experience with DEVAR, and now you founded and are the CEO of OpenWay AI. Now, we talked a little bit in the introduction about how this is agentic AI and it works when you sleep. And this is obviously a huge business opportunity right now that everybody's talking about. Can you tell us a bit about the company, and let's talk about specifically what problems you solve for?
Okay, so we first, I wanted to tell that we are not building a new agent or someone more assistant. We're building AI that act as your growth hacker, that handle the whole customer life cycle from the first website visit to closing deals. As I always say, imagine that you have a partner who care about your business like yourself, but you don't need to be involved 24 hours on this. From the basically side, we collect and used all business data from every customer interaction, like calls, communication, website visitor, and hours. Not show all doors today, but just a little magic. And our AI turns all of it to continuous loop of growth experiments. Like you launch a new product, our AI will do everything for you. But not just create some assets, using data, what really works better for your ICPs.
I have to imagine there's a lot of people listening to this who are very intrigued by this and want to understand more. So what I want to understand from you is, what is the time to value? What is the work that somebody has to put in up front to start to get the value from it? Is it, because this is one of the things I think is one of the misnomers about AI in terms of people that are not in it day to day like you and I are, right? They just think, if it doesn't work right away, I snap my fingers and I'm not immediately getting results, then this isn't it and I'm out, right? And they're skeptical. So I'm just interested, how can we talk about, what is the way that a customer would come in and interact, and how long can they expect to see, before they start to see, return and value from your product?
It's a good question because from one hand, today AI made building product significantly easier. I mean, like you just open laptop, ask code agent to create some app or website for you, and then just like from the scratch, you get it. No wasting times as before. For the growth process, it's still not about how to get results from another assistant. It's how to get real business results. And in every business process, it takes time. We are not promising you that you will see how your revenue grows in 10 times just only in one day. In one day, you can get a lot of assets and steps to your growth and then start to learning about your business. But you will see results like week, months, depends on your business. But what we can promise, but it will be only about your business with the best practices from your customers, for your customers, and from your industry.
Yeah. Listen, I heard a podcast a few months ago, and it was talking about how all SaaS and AI is moving to this world of outcome-based pricing, right?
Yeah.
Rather than user seat or usage that we've seen for the last 15, 20, 25 years. Many companies built on these pricing models. And I remember what they said on the podcast was, there's a quadrant of autonomy, right, as the vertical, and outcome as the horizontal. And most companies are in the three quadrants, right, to the left and to the bottom left. But where you really want to be is in the top right, where you give true autonomy, right, and actual outcomes, right, that have business impact. And if you do that, you're minting gold. Like you're just minting money and cash because everybody wants that. And I remember I had a mentor give me that same advice about 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. And my software Aon is around interview enablement and saving you time and having better results, but we weren't outcome based. And so we started attaching, right, the actual sourcing capability that our company has built over the last 15, 60 years and building that through agentic AI as well. So now that it's not just about the management through the interview process, it's the actual outcome you get by having that great person at the top of the funnel too. And so listen, this is where everything's going. You are out at the forefront of this. And this is an amazing thing because obviously growth hacking and how somebody interacts, right, with your organization has huge bottom line impact in terms of how fast that's happening, how well it's being done, and that it doesn't feel, right, like an AI or it doesn't feel agentic. I think that's probably an important aspect of this. So I think that's an incredible thing that you're doing. Can I invest? I mean, is there a round opening up soon? Can we get involved? Because I know that what you're doing is super important.
Thank you.
I'm kidding. We'll talk about that offline. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
So listen, you're in Silicon Valley. Obviously, this is the hotbed of everything that's happening in this space. Sometimes I feel like it's a benefit. I'm down here in South Florida, that I'm a little bit outside of the forest and I can kind of like, see what's going on, but I'm not in it every day. But there's something about being in the Valley. And especially you must be bumping into founders every day, all the time, Starbucks, lunch, wherever it may be. I'm interested to know from your perspective, because you're a serial entrepreneur, what are some of the common traits of the most successful founders you know? And how are they just different from normal human beings or maybe your common founder?
A good question, especially with second part. So, I think that common that we have, like in the founders, it's a few things. So the first, we are always hungry. We ask ourselves why we can't normal sleep when we're thinking about this idea and we still don't know answer. Be honest. It's not about passion. It's not only about passion. It's also about combination like passion, be hungry, stay tuned, and try to create something that I'm not talking about like, let's change the world. I'm talking about how to create something that people will really love. Because this is the most successful North Star when every founder can imagine. I love that. Yes, thank you. Yeah, we all grew up on the stories about successful people, how to create the best design, how to provide the best value. But today the world is about so many people starts to do so many things, especially because AI can make it possible. And the main question today, it's not about how to build something. It's not about how to pick some idea, because we have a lot of ideas around us. The main question from my perspective is how to build something that will provide a real value for your users and how you can understand it, not just because, hey, look, I have some domain here, I have some knowledge, or, oh, looks like I have some pain and I think that everyone also have it. I mean, from our hand, it can still work, but from another hand, it's about how often you can test the different hypotheses around your business and about your idea, how you can be so flexible to change what you loved yesterday to make it, to do it today more understandable for your ICPs. And it sounds like we are all on a crazy marathon. It's not like a short run, it's a long run, but you need to be so flexible to change your speed and ideas in your, I can say, vision of your product. Maybe not every day, but every week. Exactly.
Sure. Well, listen, I think another way of saying that is you can't be in love with the solution. You have to be in love with the problem, because the problem is what continues to stay the same, and you find different ways to solve for that problem, which is ultimately what gets you product market fit, which gets your users happiness, which gets all those things. So I love that you said that. And you also made a really key distinction, because so long we've been told, chase your passion, follow your passion. But like, think about a relationship you've been in that was really passionate at the beginning, and then sometimes it fizzles out, right? The passion goes away. I think you have to be intensely curious about a topic or something, right? Or a problem, because now that's going to sustain you over time because there's always so much more to learn. There's always so many different ways to think of the problem. There's always so many different ways to get to where you want to go, right? And that I think is the real key thing. I think passion is super overrated. I think sustained curiosity, consistent curiosity is actually what most founders that I see is a quality that they have. And I see that in you, that you're obviously trying to solve for something very important and something that really matters to business owners like myself, like getting growth hacking right, getting things done in a way where I feel like I have 10 of me, right? Rather than the limiting function of one of me, even if I'm working 80 hours a week, that is a game changer. So I love that.
You touched on a good point, like be loved in a program to understand how to solve it with passion. I can add that from my perspective, the greatest founders not only love a problem, but they also can create a problem that never exists.
Interesting. Say more about that.
Easy example. I'm a child who was born and raised in a world without internet and phones. And be honest, my first laptop I bought myself in my university. But tell me now that I need to live and work without smartphone. And I say, seriously? No, it doesn't work. And it's just like we think and we believe that it's not a problem. It's like how we live today, and it's about how technology changed our lives. But from another hand, if you will make some reflection and try to understand better and deeper how our patterns of behavior was changed in the last, let's take like 2 years, we will surprisingly knew that we had problems that will never exist for us before, for example, AI coming to our life. And it's so interesting. I don't say that it's a good to bad. I just think that the greatest founders, the greatest builders sometimes invent something that never exists, and it creates a lot of a wide range of new problems. And it allows us to build a new ecosystems and new products and new great businesses around one. And one of the most easy to understanding example is internet. Because when internet came to our life, after that, we had the whole new economy system, like online shopping, audio, and like online books. And so we can play in the different numbers, but the main point, right, today is AI era, and who can imagine what kind of new problems, like say industries or how economies, we will see in our life in the next 2, 5, 10 years?
Spot on. I mean, I think we don't even have a concept of how we're going to solve for the problems or what's possible or what's capable with this new technology, with the way we advance. It's an exciting time for that reason, right? And by the way, the internet was the same thing. So was the introduction of the cloud, right? That changed, right, our ability to do and build in ways that we hadn't been able to before. And AI is maybe the biggest step, but another big step in that direction, where there's just so much opportunity with that. And for some people, that's exciting. Some people, the uncertainty is restricting, and they're scared and they're doomed. And oh my God, I look at it the other way. I'm like, wow, what a wild opportunity, the complete blue ocean, that maybe I can build something, or maybe we can build something that hasn't even been thought about this way anymore. And we're all taking it from a different angle. I love that. I think that's great. I got to tell you, and I think I'm a little bit older than you. I was actually doing like rotary phone and pay phone. So like I'm even further along down the road of remembering what things were like prior to the world we're in now. So I definitely empathize there. So we're both founders. And one of the things that you and I talked about in our initial call was, I realized, about 5 years into my company that, the culture, for better or for worse, a lot of the times was my qualities. Okay. And in some ways that was good, but in some ways, like, I'll tell you that, like, I can be pretty impatient in some things, right? And sometimes that's really good, and sometimes that's
Mhm.
really bad. And I can be pretty competitive, and sometimes that's really good, and sometimes that's really bad. Much like you know, as a 5 or 6 year old out on the streets with the vegetables, and then taking out your competitors. But I would notice in some of my employees that sometimes their impatience was hurting us with a customer, right? Or the competitiveness was hurting internal, quality of work, right? And I realized like, wow, I really got to make sure that I'm tampering these things down and making sure they're working for us and not against us. So I'm just interested. How did you, knowing this, build the culture that you want? And what were those traits? And how did you manage to make sure the company's culture was the best of you and not some of those downside qualities like I brought up?
So it's a good question. Refers a lot of founders, especially in the early stage, thought that corporate culture is not like high priority thing that you need to have when you are starting to build a new company, because we care about product, we trying to make our first sales, we try to fundraise, etc. But corporate culture, people still think, unfortunately, that it's mostly for big guys who already solved all our questions. And now let's speak about corporate culture. But my experience showed that the great power for every founder is find people who can bring new ideas and be like drivers in your company, not just only you, because the great leader is not who is explain and tell what we need to do. A great leader is who can listen, and because not just he or she good listener, because people around he or her great ideas. And the corporate culture, it's one of the way how you can bring the smart, talented people who share your values in your team. And from another hand, it's sort of defense to your team. Because if you have a strong corporate culture, the wrong people never can work with your team. I mean, like you can make a mistake and hire someone who not share your values, but we can't work long because it will be so destructive and everyone will feel it. And in our company, in all our companies, we had a strong corporate culture that we tried to build from like in the first steps. And it's not was just only reflection of me. It was what we all in our team have in common and how we feel it, what we feel about it. And be honest, corporate culture is one of my favorite things. And I also already almost finished my new article about that. But I give you a few interesting points. So first, a lot of people say and think about corporate culture like they have values and rule, but we also have some censorship. For example, no one in our company, including me, can't say, I don't know, it's not my job. And the most important thing is like, it's impossible. Try to spend a few days without all of these words, and you will see how many colors in the world and how many ideas and solutions can go in your mind, because you cannot say, I don't know how to do it. You don't know, ask AI today. Like 5 years ago, it was like, Google it, spend some time, make some research, do your homework. Or for example, it's not my job. When you're in a startup, you can't allow you to say it's not my job. I mean, like for example, I'm experienced CEO and I had a lot of tasks in the different levels of company. But yesterday until midnight, I created some one pager from for my potential partner, not because I don't have people who can do it, but because I feel that I can do it better and I needed to make it for myself because it will reflect what I'm really think and how I wanted to explain it. And it's just like one of example. To be careful, I don't mean like you need to do everything your own. But if something should be done because it will help to achieve your goal, it's not the right place to say, it's not my job, sorry.
Totally agree. If we ever had somebody say that in our company, especially as we were growing, I would have said the same thing. You just can't do that. And I think there's a couple different things. When people think of culture, what they don't a lot of times realize that the best cultures reject an organ like the body would, right? When it's not the right fit. Like you realize right away whether you fit in or fit out in a strong culture, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a really important thing that you made a distinction of there, because sometimes you will make a mistake and sometimes you will think you're bringing something in, even if you have the most stringent of kind of cultural and behavioral questions that you ask in an interview. And sometimes you'll just realize this is just not the right fit. And the person will feel that too. So I think that's really important. I'm also super passionate about culture. And, we talked a little bit about hiring the wrong person. I want to take that in a little bit of a different direction too. Being in a startup, one of the things that I've said for a long time is that, it's easier to get somebody to change industries or change functions than it is to get somebody who's been in an enterprise environment, come to a startup and be successful. It's not impossible, but it's pretty difficult. And you and I chatted about that. And I have seen that throughout my career. You've seen this happen at your company and other companies. Why do people keep making these mistakes? And can you think of any examples of where, what you might tell another founder who think they're hiring somebody who has like a sexy brand on there, but then not all that glitters is gold. And maybe that's not always what you're looking for.
Finding the right talent for your team doesn't have to be a struggle. Meet Aon Hire, the world's first hiring experience management platform designed to transform the way you hire. Powered by AI, Aon Hire takes the hassle out of every step in the process. From smart resume analysis to customized interview questions, it saves you time, money, and effort. Plus, with real-time insights from every interview, you can quickly identify top candidates, reduce turnover, and stay on budget. And forget about note-taking, Aon Hire takes care of that for you. Ready to revolutionize your hiring process? Visit aonhire.com and get started today.
So a simple answer, because someone like an expert told you are right, you're round, and now you need to hire someone who already did it and will be better if it will be like well-known names. That's it. From experienced founders, we know that sometimes well-known name doesn't work better than passion and result-oriented stuff, because it's not about skills. It's about how you can make easier for your customers and for your team to work together with someone who was raised, grew up as a professional in totally different atmosphere. But from another hand, I can say that I think it mostly depends from the stage of company, because when startup starting to be like a high grown and need to scale or pre-IPO, it's always you need to have someone who already knew how work all process and how to make it suitable, successful, and others. But in a small team and a small startups, when your main goal to care about your customer from the first hand, you need to hire people who ready for it, I can say, who will not delegate because it's more easy and not ours. From another point, people usually hire the well-known corporates in place because they feel and believe that can have a big right network. And sometimes it's true, and it can help. But from my personal experience, in one of my company, I hired top executive from a well-known names. And they have a network. And be honest, we were amazing people. The main problem was a feeling of speed. I like do you know, I don't remember what is a name of a cartoon, a movie about like Zootopia.
Zootopia.
Zootopia,
Yeah.
yeah.
One of my daughter's favorite movies.
Yes. And I think it's because everyone can recognize self in the main character when
The bunny who's a cop.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is how founders feel ourselves when trying to explain a new corporate employee why we need to have it yesterday, not tomorrow, not 2 weeks, not 2 months, yesterday.
I love
And
it.
yeah, and I think it's so bright explanation why this different culture can like fight in one startup. And in this case, again, it doesn't mean that it never work. It can work, but it can't work just only founder wants it. It also should work from a team staff. Like we wanted to be ready shift where feeling about life and how to work in business. If you discuss about like early stage companies, like pre-IPO company, it's totally different story, of course.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think, the things that you do to be successful in a large corporate environment are not the thing. I mean, you will hear that's not my job in a large enterprise environment many times because there's somebody to do everything, right? In a lot of these situations. And typically, if somebody grew with Google, by the time they've gotten to the size they are, they've probably gone and started building something on their own or gone back into that building environment because people who know that love that. So I love that. I love the analogy. They might be filming Zootopia 3 outside. I'm hearing the birds chirping. It's so beautiful. It's so peaceful out there. I love it. So it's great stuff. Let me ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
You were recently awarded Forbes 40 under 40. Is that correct?
Yes. Not recently, but yes.
Tell us how you found out what does that award mean to you?
First, I wanted to start from a fun story about that.
Please.
I never applied to this category, and I was in the middle of an event in Italy when I got a message. Congrats. With Forbes. I say, what? What's going on? I was running like between different meetings, and I had a lot of messaging from my partners, investors, friends. Congrats, you're on the Forbes. And just only by the end of the day, I had the time to Google and see what's going on. And it was so surprising for me because I said to myself, wow, that means something. And I can say I'm really proud to be part of it because it's opened doors to such great community. But it's also is a big responsibility because you feel that, it's personal, of course, but you feel like that every next business should be better and better. Like you grew up.
You'll be 50 under 50, 60 under 60. You got to keep growing. You got to keep getting the accolade, right?
Yes. It's not like just take your gold medal from someone.
It's like a responsibility to keep building on it and keep living up to that honor, right?
Yeah, it's like in Olympic Games in your athlete, you can got just once or twice your Olympic medal and say, perfect, I'm done. Because after you retire, but in entrepreneurship, we never retired.
Never ending game.
Never. If you're a truly entrepreneur, it's in your mindset. You wanted to create something for whole your damn life. And it means like for every next idea, every next business, you ask yourself more and more and be honest. We're more stronger judge for ourselves. It's us. And
I love that.
Yeah. And again, so I don't want it to show that it's like something crazy stuff and we are running around and try to find something what we'll do for next. But it's about we are unstoppable. We can't stop because we can't. And it just red, just like red. We wanted to create something, we wanted to build something. And when I say we, I mean like ambitious founders who not just like game. It's not like about game, it's about our life.
Mhm.
I'm sure it's not only about founders. I'm sure that high professional people, like from investors or top executive managers, I know programmers, artists, any person who really passionate and who really loves what he or she does every day, it's the same story. But following this point, in the entrepreneurship, we don't have so much recognizable awards like artist or sportsman or sports. And but we're feeling the same.
Sure. It's like nice to be recognized, number one. Number two, you don't always get, the ones and zeros that you get in sports and like when winning championships or MVPs or in music by winning Grammys. Like in our world, I mean, you have like 100 wins a day and 100 losses a day. It's just
Yes.
such a roller coaster a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
it's super nice to be validated. And I'm appreciative that you've taken that responsibility and look at it as something that you want to keep living up to that honor, because you and I joked around. That's not always the case with everybody in 40 under 40. So I'm appreciative that you take that responsibility seriously, and I'm very excited for you. And
Thank
I
you.
love that you got that honor. And listen, I think only more of those to come. So let's talk a little bit about hiring, because we've talked a lot about culture. We've talked about talent. Let me ask, for the companies that you've built, first question, what's kind of the core hiring philosophy you have for people that you want in your company, right? You've talked a little bit about the culture, but what is your core hiring philosophy for people that you would hire at OpenWay AI or at any of your previous companies?
So first, I need to say that now we are not hiring a lot because the main task from the last few years was how to make existing team more effective using all AI resources. But the main principle, I was saying, we wanted to have in our team people who share our vision and who share our approaches from a different tasks and goals. And we work as a team here. We don't have one person who made the decision. And surprisingly, I'm also not a person who made a decision, like just only me. I cannot go to a team and say, look, we're starting to work with this guy. No, I have a final decision, like on the row, yes or no. But the whole process is responsible from the managers who directly will work with different people, like candidates, etc. And I just take from myself just only final decision. And I be honest, I never asked about professional skills. I'm asked about what is your vision of life? What is your motto of
Well,
life?
let's talk about it, because I was going to ask that. What's your favorite questions to ask? What are the things that you like to ask?
I'm asking about always about travels. How because it's
Okay, pretend you're interviewing me. What would be a travel question you ask me?
okay. So, what is your do you love travel, and what is your travel story?
Do I love travel? And what is my travel story? I love travel, and I have 4 young children. So one of the big things I've looked at as a responsibility for them is that I want to expose them to different cultures, different ways of living, the monuments and history of the past, the great foods and drinks that are around the world. And so for me personally, getting out to travel, right? Sure, there's some tax that comes with that. Nobody loves being on a plane for 15 hours, TSA, picking up a bunch of suitcases and going from place to place. But the joy you get out of experiencing something that's not down the road, that's showing you what history used to be like, how other people live, to me, there's no greater impact in learning than travel and doing that. So to me, that's how I would answer that question. And I want to expose that to my kids so they can see the world and get, the lessons that have come in time and understanding different cultures. Because the people that are most worldly are the ones, to me, that are usually the most well-rounded and have the best perspective. Are you
Okay,
going to hire me?
I will ask more.
Oh, we got a follow-up question. Okay, let's do it.
Of course. How many countries do you visit?
Wow. So I don't know that I've kept track. I've probably been to 10 to 12 in Europe. I've been to 4 in Latin America. I've been to most is probably a lot, but I've been to probably 8 or 9 in North America. And I've only been to, I take that back, 2 in Asia and 1 in Africa. So total that all up, I've probably been to about 25 countries or so. Is that good? Now,
Yeah.
how many have
No,
you been?
it's good. I'm being 40, and I also visited the whole state in
Did you
the
say
United.
40?
Yeah.
40 under 40 in 40 countries?
No. 30,
Wow.
30 under 30, it's a 30. 40, it's around 40. So,
Got
and
it.
and I also had a chance to drove through whole America except like North states.
Okay. What was your favorite state you visited?
Oh, it's not one. I fall in love in Manhattan. I fall in love in California, but I can say that it's so much difference, like Florida, Oregon, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, so much and so different. And oh my God, we will spend 1 more hour discussing about that because
Yeah, we can't do that. We're going off topic. But I
just
wanted to make sure you named I live in Florida.
yeah, I
And I'm
know.
from Arizona. So you made me feel good there that you named both of my states. I appreciate that.
I can say that I was in the Grand Canyon like 9 times.
9 times. It's the same every time you go back. What changed? Why did you go back 9 times?
I love it.
Love it. It's amazing. It's one of the 8 wonders of the world. It's amazing. If you haven't been, you got to check it out. One of my favorite things in my home state.
Yes.
What about this? Do you have a memorable interview experience? It could be good or it could be bad, but like when I ask you about a memorable interview, what comes to mind?
Just give me a finish your thought about traveling, why I'm asking about traveling.
Oh, please take over. Go.
So do you know that in average, around 80% of population in every country never go abroad?
Yes, I do know that. There's some ridiculous statistic in the
Yeah.
United States that
It's not only
60% of people haven't gone without 50 miles of their home,
yeah,
which
but
is insane.
it's really insane. And it means when you have a traveling experience, not just only like for vacation, 5-star vacation hotel, but also you traveling around with different our country and know people and traditional culture. It shows that you can think out of box. And it show you as a person who will try to find a different solutions. And I mean like, and ours. So it shows you as a person who not just only like, I'm so result oriented, I will work 24 hours. No one wanted to work for 24 hours. But every founder wanted to have a team people who can say, I can take it from a different perspective. And travel, it's one of a way how to get it in your mind. Doesn't matter about your education. It's about, do you curious about the world around you?
Totally agree. I like I said, I don't think there's anything you learn more from than travel. And to your point, if you're a global company, if your customers are global and understanding different global cultures, and if you have global team members like we both do, right? I have team members in India and in Mexico City and Brazil and Europe. Like being that I've been to some of those places has made me a better leader for them. And every time I go visit those employees, it matters so much because I'm experiencing what they experience and it gives me more empathy. So I totally agree with you. I love that.
As a person who spent 8 hours in the negotiation in China with one partner, and also had the experience to had a business negotiation in Dominicana, and also of course, in India and a lot of other countries, we can spend another hour discussion about cultural difference in business and how to go in negotiation with different partners. Yeah, so I'm totally agree.
We're going to have a second podcast. We're going to have to extend it. Let me ask you though, the interview question. Do you have an interview that's memorable for you? Maybe you were interviewing somebody and either they really, it was a crazy situation or maybe they interviewed really well, anything like that?
It's a good question. I always remember the first interview of people who still work with me. And I can say I have some people around me who worked with me the last 10 years. And it's always memorable because you spend a big part on your life, especially like your not
Adult life.
it does. Yeah. I wouldn't say like fruitful or thinkful life, but yeah, it can be adult life. Let's take it seriously. Yeah. With different people, and you grew up and changed each other. But I cannot say that I have something really special because everyone is special, and you just
Sure.
remember why you made a decision to say yes, and when you made the decision to hire someone, and afterward you just following the whole down 10 years, you can understand. You still understand why you did it 10 years ago. This is amazing.
You've got all that experience
Yeah.
too. That helps. Sometimes, like, especially when you go to another company and somebody follows you, it's like the previous role was like a 10-year interview, right? You know exactly how they work and who they are and all of that. So I'm with you on that. Last hiring question. We all miss. Sometimes we get it wrong, right? When it comes down, we're talking about that earlier about the culture aspect. When you miss, is there something that you needed to learn, or is there a theme? Like what are the biases that maybe come up for you that maybe you've grown and passed, but maybe you experienced early in your career when you missed on a hire?
What do you mean miss?
So we've all hired people that didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we know right away, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So I'm just interested, is it because you were moving too fast? Is it because they were just like you and thought that would work? Is it because you didn't ask the right cultural questions and so you missed things? Like, is there anything that came up kind of consistently on the people that you have made a mishire with?
It's a good question. I think it's like one of the motto of life to take something like that as a good, expensive lesson.
It's getting it wrong is very expensive on a lot of levels.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. And it's expensive not just because of money, but because of time and result and
opportunity
yes,
and
yes.
frustration. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
But I mean, like, we are still people, right? And it means that we will maybe, who knows, like maybe like maybe, yeah. Don't forget, I worked in augmented reality industry a long time.
Yeah, I'm wondering right now, am I in a simulation? Am I talking to the real Anna right now? I don't know.
No, I'm real, but who knows? And I always say, who knows? Yeah, but seriously, like, we don't hire robots. We also hire people. And when you sit on a table, you made the decision, and your potential future employee is also made the decision. And the main magic is, will be all your decisions right? I don't know. But I can say that if you will take something so seriously that will be distract your life, never go in a business, because you will have so many mistakes. Like every day, every week, you will got so many rejections. I mean, like, every founder and every entrepreneur believe, and it's true, but we create something. We build the world around us. We are responsible. We are independent. We make a choice in our life. But also, we have so many rejections from our partners, investors, future employees. And if any time I will say, oh, it was the biggest mistake in my life, oh my God, I will never live so long as I want.
You can't stress about the mistakes. You can't stress that you can't do that. You got to keep moving forward. That's a very entrepreneurial mindset. All right, I got a few rapid fires for you. What is a personal use case of AI that's really helped you? You're using it in your day-to-day life, your personal life.
I ask AI about my health and fitness habits.
So are you like uploading medical records up to that? Or like how are you using it? Are you asking for workout routines?
No, not like just a big professional. And of course, I don't trust all my records. But if I wanted to, okay, another perspective, AI today is like a biggest library, all scientists and popular facts, and you have access right now. You just only need to create a right question. That means
Exactly.
when I have access and I use it and access from a different longevity and life fighting styles, if I have any question or I have any concern about something about me, like in personal, my body, my appearance, etc., and I just ask and I got another access. The main point, don't let AI to make the decision here. I use as my partner who can explain me and who can give me like the right answer or better answer
Data,
right now.
information,
Yeah.
so you can make the
Exactly.
decision.
Exactly. Like a
Yeah.
big library with really seamless access to everything.
Like a great advisor who has access to all the
Yes.
information and technology.
Yes.
And listen, when we build software on the interviewing side, it's the same thing. I don't want our software to make the decision for you. I just wanted to give you all the information you need to make the best
Yes,
decision. I think that's the best type of AI out there. Okay. What about a book you've read recently, or even if it's a TV show or any content that you'd recommend for our listeners? Anything? What's like kind of been keep it entertaining you or just interesting you, or what has that been?
It's a good question. I read from my 4 years old, and I can say that it's not a right answer to what is the best book in your world, because
Sure.
books are building you, and you can read it again and again if you wanted to something special. But in the last, I read now one of the oldest Zootopia, and I trying to figure out how people think about future like 100 years ago. And I can say, we can discuss about AI and technology and how everything can change in our lives, and we will go to the moon or Mars. It doesn't matter, but century ago, people thought about future with the same scares that we have today, still have today. And this is interesting point.
I got a really good book recommendation. You should read. It's dense, but it's called The Technology Trap.
Okay.
And it talks exactly about the biggest inventions in time and what happened and why people pushed back and who thrived and who didn't. So you should definitely check that out.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by, I even think back to the 90s when the internet was first coming out and what we thought was possible. And I've said it a bunch of times, but if I told you all the world's information was at your fingertips for free, you would think in 2026 we'd all be geniuses, but that is just definitely not the case, right? So it's like sometimes the way that we look at things and then we extrapolate it is just so flawed, and we don't always learn the lessons, right?
Yes.
From the past. And one of the reasons why, I saw Sam Altman recently was commenting about, how now it's an amplifier and it's not, there might be some disruption, but it's not going to be this doomer job displacement situation that we thought. It's going to, people are going to want to work or be able to do, who don't want to work are not going to be able to. There we go. That's the messaging we're looking for. That's how we get people on board and show them the possibility, the excitement, because we haven't done a good job of that. It's been very, very negative when it comes to AI, when it comes to the general populace. And I think that's not in anybody's favor for sure. So I love that. Last thing, Anna, if you had to go back in time and give 20-year-old Anna advice that you didn't know then, but that you know now, what would it be?
The same, still to continue do what you do.
Do what you do. Just keep doing it. Keep building. I love that. We had a lot of fun on the episode. We got to talk about you selling vegetables as a 5-year-old and taking out the competition. We talked about Zootopia. We talked about culture and executives coming from enterprise companies. We covered a lot today. I want to tell you, I really appreciate you coming on, Anna. Congrats on 40 Under 40. Congrats on OpenWay AI and all the amazing things you're doing. I'm so grateful you joined us, and I can't wait to continue the conversation offline. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. It was really fun and serious.
All right. No, good. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.